Hello everyone, this is JeremyDaniels with another World of Warships video. Myself, Ace and Macross, all members of the Darkfang clan, decided to do a triple Texas division, and we get dropped into a match with a Saipan and a Kaga. So it's a triple Texas division running in a tier 5 to 7 match. So this video, probably notice the title is World of Warships Texas Rapid Assault Maneuver. I will be showcasing the rapid assault maneuver of the Texas. Yes, I know the Texas only does 20 knots. Still, I did a rapid assault maneuver with this ship. On the upshot for this match, ooh, all those horns. Yeah, the horns in this last update have been great fun to play with. Now, this particular match is interesting, and not only is it a 5 to 7 match with only only 4 tier 7s, the carriers and the top tier battleships. Everything else is tier 5s or tier 6s. But it is also interesting in that there's only one destroyer. Unfortunately for us, the destroyer is on the enemy team. The upshot is still, we have plenty, and I mean plenty, of cruisers to shoot at. So, I'm sitting here in the All-American camo for my Texas. Ace is using... let me get over there. They have kind of changed around how all this works. He's using a special camo to get more XP total on this Texas just for the sake of, you know, campaigns. And Mac is running the Lone Star camo on his Texas, which I kind of like the Lone Star camo. I believe that between all the servers, the sale of that camo and the sale of the Texas during the whole Save the Texas charity run was somewhere in the order of about $180,000 to $200,000. So definitely proud to see how much we got there. Now I put some shells out on that Mutsuki just because, well, it's a destroyer. It was up, it was visible, but no dice on my shells. I was hoping to maybe get some early damage on them to dissuade them from trying too much tricky stuff. Now at this point, Ace, Mac, and I are all on our TeamSpeak server, so we are coordinating and calling out targets for concerted bombardment. Not as well as also swapping off as far as who is 17,000 damage on that Koenig. Gotta love it. But also swapping out as far as for who is trying to tank for everyone else. Yeah, the Omaha over there, Gundam Junkie, he was a brave sort. Pushed forward hard, and he got the living bat's not beat out of him. As I've said before, the Omaha is a good little cruiser, good little ship, but it is punishing if you are caught out of position. Yep, full broadside emerald within 10 kilometers. I fire all 10 rifles and I just get 5 overpins. Still, good chunk of damage, but little on the upsetting side, I'm afraid. Still, the Gundam Junkie did get the kill on that emerald. Did him the first blood, so happy for him. I'm just putting some shells out because, again, I want to make sure that destroyer is dead. So that's my first kill. A snipe, but kill secured. Destroyer's down. We don't have to worry about the torps or we don't have to worry about the little sneaky torpedo boat coming up behind us and torping us in the butt. Now, I have I'm still putting fire on the Koenig here because he's sailing broadside on.
Requesting fire on the designated target.
I'm kind of sailing broadside on too, but I'm at least able to know when I should maneuver. take a bit of a sharp hit from that Jessere up yonder, Dalton, but nothing too bad. I mean, yeah, between the volley from the Jessere and the Koenig, I lose 9,000 health. And now I have I suppose that's actually the Leander there, bombarding me with AP. I hope so, because if it's the Cleveland, he really needs to rethink his ammo choices. Now, there I get hammered by a nasty volley from the Jessere, which he just punches straight through my my bow armor, which is a little annoying, but it is what it is. So at this point, I'm actually having to maneuver my ship. I'm playing the wiggle wiggle game that I have learned with U.S. cruisers with my battleship. That Cleveland sets me on fire in his dying volley. Actually, 2 fires. I let him burn for a little bit just because I don't want to burn my damage control just yet. But those torps are well and clearly out of my threatening range. So I roll on around, taking aim at the Leander here, waiting for him to settle in a bit, and then getting a little upset at this New York, who is, yep, gave me a little love tap on the aft. And yes, I just helped to cap a point in a battleship, a U.S. battleship at that. Now, Gundam Junkie is still alive in his Omaha, if only barely. Good night, man. He has that ship is held together by well wishes and duct tape. But this Jessere now has the ire of myself, Mac, Ace, a New York, and a Cleveland. So he's just gonna start getting pounded hard. Raising. Now at this point I'm already starting to turn around because you have to be careful with, I've said it before, you have to be careful with positioning in US battleships. You let yourself get too far out to one way or the other, you will remove yourself from the battle, and even if you have a good one-on-one or two-on-one fight, you're not going to have a good overall match because you were in position for a momentary tactical advantage, but not for the long-term tactical fight in mind. Not quite the same difference as a tactical and a strategic, or between tactical and strategic choices, but kind of similar. Now, with that Cleveland behind the island, even though he's presenting a decent target, I put more shots on that Jessere. And do not get anything on him. So, I know you're all probably saying you're going, Jeremy, you promised rapid assault maneuvers from this Texas. Not seeing anything rapid or assaulting. Just maneuvers. It's coming. Patience. The Cleveland off my starboard bow just popped from that Jessere, who's trying to kite us up into the corner. My Mac has started turning around to the side just to not get himself caught too far out. Get a little hit on that one Cleveland. So we got a pair of Clevelands over there in their cap, a Leander. The one Jessere over to the side. We haven't seen the enemy carrier yet, which is a Kaga, though he has been quite busy. Already has 1 kill and is going to be going out to get 2 or 3 more if possible. And there's the Leander again, raining raining armor piercing on me. And I knocked that Cleveland down to 51 hit points. Someone else is going to scarf him up, I know. But, yeah, that is a lucky Cleveland. that the Omaha Gundam Junkie, he was held together with duct tape and well wishes. That over there has a well wish, and that's it. Now I am looking at the Cleveland, but he's running behind the island there because he does not want to get sunk. Can't say I blame him. So I take some pot shots at his compatriot. Knock down to low health first, but take him out again. So now I'm sitting comfy on 50,000 damage and 2 kills. Still plenty of ships left for the taking. We're up by 120 points and climbing because we have 2 caps to their 1. Nobody on their team was able to cap A. I'm still looking at that Cleveland, hoping that maybe I can get a shot off on him, but he's just got on ahead and started just booking it straight down the middle because he does not want to get taken out over there. So there's an enemy New York over yonder. Might as well put some shots on him. Now, the enemy Nagato, I know he just popped up. And this is the point at which I became very nervous. I'm a tier 5 battleship, he's a tier 7. I'm on half health, he's on full health, basically. He has 16-inch rifles, I have 14-inchers. So even though I have a pair more rifles, he's gonna have a lot better time trying to take me out. Yeah, somebody else knocked that New York down low again, so I'm gonna have the whole bit of finishing him off. Of course, and it's with the Citadel too. I think I hit him with like 6 shells anyway, but only the first one straight into his engine spaces, popped him like a balloon. Now the lander's still out there. The lander still has torps, so I'm being a little cautious, a little cagey. At this point, I would actually, if I was in the New York or the New Mexico, I'd be throwing out my fighter or my spotter, trying to see if I could get some eyes on them around that island. Because I know he's coming up around here somewhere. I put a few shots on the Nagato because I don't really have anything else good to shoot at. Maneuvering hard to try to make sure that nobody has a good firing line on me. And there's the Leander again, trying to peck away at me. Ace is over there on pretty low health, even lower than me. And Mac has a good chunk of his health, but... So right now we have myself. Ooh, and I just got a blind Citadel on that Leander. It's always juicy when that happens. No hacks, just skill. A little bit, well, not a whole lot of luck really, because I looked at where he was at, threw shells at him, and managed to still tag him. Now the Kaga is sending a strike package up to hit the New York on that's right there. Kind of grateful he didn't come after me, but still trying to focus, hit his planes. Looking to see if I needed to turn in, but then I saw that he was going after the enemy, my allied New York there. So I put my full volley out on that Nagato. Keep on shooting down more planes because, hey, more XP is more XP. Now, I've gotten some good hits on that Nagato, but they keep on bouncing off. Again, 12-inch rifles. Nagato has some pretty thick armor. Yeah, I even managed to polish off one of the enemy fighter wings. And this Nagato, for whatever blessed reason, is not focusing on me. The lander finished it off Ace. I guess the Nagato was aiming at nope, now the Nagato is aiming at me. I, on the other hand, I want that Leander dead. He's just been a real royal pain in my side. Plus, he has torpedoes. Even if I could somehow take out the Nagato without losing most all of my health, which is looking like I might be able to because he's throwing high explosive at me. Granted, I am heavily angled, but he could overpin my bow. Oh well, never interrupt the enemy when they're making a mistake and all that. Lander disappears. I get one shell hit on him, knock him down a little bit closer to death. And now the nope, sorry, those Nagato's secondaries. He's still firing high explosive at me. Other Nagato players, take note that this is the point where you should have swapped to armor piercing and either pop some shells straight through my bow, hit in my citadel, or just pop some shells through the through the top of my deck right there in front of my turrets. There goes the enemy lander, and now I'm on 4 kills. I'm looking back. I probably could have taken this Nagato because he was playing very hilariously bad. But what I do instead, I declare I'm going, and I'm going for the ram. This is the Texas Rapid Assault Maneuver. He waffles, he starts going forward, starts going backward, tries to dodge, no dice. And there is my Kraken from the ram. Yes, quite the manly Kraken too. Now at this point, the match is not over yet. There's still the Kaga left. I don't want to insult. I have to agree. The Nagato there, he was not terribly useful. Now, Mac does exceptionally well with dodging those torpedoes. Gets set on fire. Unfortunately, his damage control was on cooldown because he'd already burned it earlier from getting set on fire, I believe from the Cesare, or may have been from the Nagato. In either case,
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
he did his best, and he actually dodged most of the Kaga's torpedoes, which is kind of hard to do with how their drop pattern is. But unfortunately for him, that was not quite enough to keep him from going down to the damage over time effects. So we are up 853 to 527. But it's the Saipan and the Kaga left. So if the Kaga can find and sink the Saipan, they still win. And it looks like the Kaga is mopping up the last of the Saipan's dive bombers there. Now the Saipan, in a smart move, instead of just taking his dive bomber straight back to him, he was kind of leading him on a merry chase for a few minutes. Kaga, at first, was following along with the chase, but then wised up and just started trying to scout for the CV, or for the Saipan, with his fighters. And now the Kaga is trying to basically bait the Kaga with the Kaga to go after his dive bombers again to distract him. Asking where the CV is at. One teammate replies he's invisible. I decide to get a little cheeky and say that he's hiding at Q42. Yeah, which the enemy Kaga was not, or he was a good sport about it as well. He played a good match, did his best. So, and very much like my Cleveland game, sometimes it just comes down to you played your best, but the other team just happened to be that little bit better. I always prefer those matches to the ones where it feels like the winning team only won because their side failed less. Now at this point, the Kaga has found the Saipan and he is sending in a strike package. And I'm half expecting for this to end up being a loss despite our attempts to carry this as hard as we can. But Saipan turns hard and takes 5 torpedoes. And the dive bomber strike. The enemy Kaga gets a high caliber, but the Saipan survives. Which, I did compliment the Kaga there because he played a good match. I have to feel a little sorry about the, yeah, if they just had one cap, that would have been a much tighter game. We managed to pull it off with, we hit 1,000 points with 2 seconds left. So, we're looking again at my final stats here. I had, again, almost 300,000 credits. 4449 base XP. Sorry, not base, but total XP. Now, this was a match with, I believe it was 100% first win of the day, or first win bonus. I always enjoy the rare occasions where you end up getting a Kraken from a ram. You know, you had the my New Mexico match from about a month ago that I posted up with that. It's so satisfying. Not quite as satisfying as if we were to have gone out and, you know, hit the got the had where the ram was also the last kill, but still. Now, in retrospect, I maybe should have, instead of trying to charge in and ram the Nagato, myself and Mac probably could have burned them down, which would have given the enemy Kaga one more target to have had to worry about. Maybe that could have made a difference. Maybe, but it ended up well, all things told. And the only reason why we've gone after the Nagato in a fight instead of actually trying to going straight for the ram was because I was presuming that the Nagato had some sense about him. By the time I realized that he didn't, I was already committed. It still made for a good video. So yes, 2191 base XP. The New York was second up with 1500, and then we have Ace, the Saipan, and Mac rounding out the top 5 with over 1,000 per. The Kaga definitely played a good game, cracked 1,000 on the loss. That is nothing to sneeze at, but just not quite, ended up not being not quite enough. And I didn't do enough to get a high caliber, because I will admit several of my kills ended up being secures. But then you have cases like with that Koenig where I did, you know, a good third of its health in damage, and somebody else finished it off at the last little bit. That Cleveland, I knocked him down to 51 hit points from about 10 or 12k, and somebody else polishes him off. It happens. I'm not complaining. We won. That's what counts. And again, I almost crack 250,000 credits net. As always, if you have, if anybody out there has any videos that they want to submit for me to look over, or do this whole sort of playthrough, watch, comment on it, let me know whether you're wanting me to critique it and offer advice. I'm not the best, but I would like to think that I can at least offer a little bit of advice here or there for glaring mistakes. And sometimes pointing out the glaring mistakes helps you to recognize them and then correct them. If you want that, let me know. I will do that in a discreet manner. If you have a blowout game that you think is pretty impressive that you want to showcase, let me know, or send that along as well, and let me know kind of what the deal is with it. Or even you just have a match where maybe the entire match wasn't too great, but you had this one section that was awesome or hilarious. Or even you got yourself a nice, good, devastating strike. I'm trying to get a nice video together of a compilation of devastating strikes with main battery, or with torpedoes, or, you know, rams. Rams are good. Always enjoyable there. You know, send those along. Let me know where to look at, and I'll see if it's something that I can use. Until next time, folks, this is JeremyDaniels, signing off and saying, have a good day.